Welcome back to the pod. So this next phase of my life we'll call Savior Complex. You can see where this is going. I was doing the acting thing. I got my SAG card. I was working background jobs. I was doing all the things. Eye on the prize. Unfortunately, out of nowhere, I had heard from, I don't even remember who, that one of my friends had passed away. It was drug related. I didn't even know he was using. He just saw me as that innocent Christian girl. So he never showed that whole side of him to me. So I had lots of friends coming to me and being like, what happened? We know you were the closest to him. And I was like, in the dark. Back when he and I had been hanging out, we had gone out one night and we were like besties, right? And I had seen one of his friends and it was like, love at first sight. You'll see this as a pattern for me, okay? That's my problem. I watched too many Disney movies growing up, let's be honest. I had seen this boy and I just remember kissing him and like, then he left and it was just like, Disney. Years later, I hear of this death. That guy and I connect. I think he reached out to me because he's like, do you know what happened? Like everyone was coming to he and I because they knew that we were closest to him. Both of us were in the dark. A few weeks later or whatever, I don't know the timeline at all. This was decades ago. He calls me up and he's like, can you come get me? And I'm like, yeah, of course, I got you. Especially after like what happened, right? I want to be there for my friends. I felt like I wasn't there for my friend who passed away. What if I could have done something? What if I could have prevented it, you know? I go pick him up. And he starts staying with me for a little bit. Anyways, fast forward, lo and behold, the guy is full on addicted to heroin. And now I'm like, whoa, like, what do I do? Right? Because I can't let down another person, right? So my savior complex kicked in. So I spent the next, I want to say year plus. I thankfully was not without a job because his mom hired me to work at her PR agency. So again, somehow still God's using all of this and I'm learning, I'm working with like celebrity stylists and I'm growing. But meanwhile, like behind closed doors, I'm like trying to keep this kid alive. The wildest part, the stories are going to start seeming like a movie now. We go to the Beverly Hills police one day because he was like, I want to get clean. And I have actual footage of this somewhere. And he brings the baggie of the drugs to them and is like, please arrest me because he wanted to get clean. And they were like, sorry, there's nothing we can do for you here. What? I was baffled. Okay. So I drove him to rehab after rehab and then he would leave and he would go back in. And there's a cycle. If you know anything about drug users, they get clean so that it's cheaper to get high or you get higher faster or something like that. And then they go and do it again. You have to want it, right? One of the most beautiful things that I learned from him is I actually learned to have more faith in people. There was multiple occasions where he left and I was like, he's not coming back. He always came back. And one time that stood out to me the most, I had dropped him off somewhere and he had my phone. I drive away and I'm like, where's my phone? And immediately, right, the panic of like drugs and stealing, that association together, I was like, he stole my phone. I flip around. Turns out he had been outside calling all my friends like, Chelsea left her phone. She needs her phone. And I was just like, wow, like it was just a beautiful moment. In a dark space, it was a beautiful moment. Eventually, I walked away because I realized you can't help someone that doesn't want to help themselves. And if he was going to get clean, he had to do it himself. And that I was not only hurting myself by sticking around and trying to fix it, but I was hurting him because I was enabling him. So that was that chapter. Stay tuned for the next one. It gets crazier.